Welcome back to the simple truth. Listen, we're in 1 Samuel. We're in chapter 25. We just finished 23. We're going to move on to 24. This is a continuation. Let me start with 23 again. When Abigail saw David, she hurried. She didn't take her time. She hurried. She got down from the donkey, fell before David on her face, and bowed to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, "On me alone, my Lord, be the guilt. Please let your servant speak in your ears and hear the words of your servant." It's the right posture and then the right attitude. And with the right attitude is going to come the right words. Abigail threw herself down at David's feet in submission, in a humbleness, right? In humility. She threw herself down at his feet, and then her attitude comes, right? And then the words and the actions are going to come. Her words are simple. Hey, let this fall on me and me alone. Does that sound familiar? Because it's a little bit Christ-like. Abigail didn't have anything to do with this situation except for be married to the wrong guy in the wrong moment, in the wrong place, at the wrong time, right? So she's married to a scoundrel, a non-Christian person who has no care for God and no care for the things of God. Isn't going to pray about something, isn't going to ask permission, of God to do something. He simply is going to declare, "I don't want to do this." Sound familiar? Abigail's married to him, and yet she takes responsibility for the offense. It reminds me of the story of Nehemiah in chapter 1, where Nehemiah, who is hundreds of miles away from Jerusalem, prays to God and takes responsibility. Daniel does the same thing. Takes responsibility for what the corporate has done, what other individuals did. Not Nehemiah, he's nowhere near Jerusalem. But he takes responsibility upon himself. We've done this. We've done this. That is a lost art today. We are so caught up in defending and protecting ourselves, our own reputation, that we quickly divide ourselves from people who are doing bad. We disassociate all the time with people. Now again, Is that a thing that we need to do occasionally? Well, if God tells you to disassociate with somebody, then I guess you have a choice. But you don't get to decide who you're going to disassociate with as a Christian. Not my country anymore. Well, great. Then if it's not your country, then you should be no problem giving up all the benefits, all the things that you're getting. You should have no problem with that, right? It's not your country anymore. Why? Because I don't like the president. It's amazing how quickly we disassociate ourselves in moments. But Christianity is all about associating, understanding your sin is no different than the person next to you. Right? I say that in moments and on occasions to people, and it causes great trouble, right? Because people don't think that way. And they think in a way of, no, my sin is different than yours, Andy. I know what you've done, and my sin is different. No, your sin in nature, your sin nature is not different. All sin separates us from God. It keeps piling up stuff between us and God, and then our prayers are hindered. Our communication with God is hindered. His communication with us is hindered. So all sin does the same thing. And there's only one antidote for all sin, and that's Jesus. Jesus does the same thing for my sin that he does for your sin, which is he removes it, and then us and God the Father are back, right? Which is the very thing God the Father wanted with Adam and Eve. It's the whole plan. Hey, Adam and Eve and I used to be like this. Now we're like this. Let's fix that. But until you recognize that your sin does the same as the guy next to you that you know is involved in all these other things, the worse you make somebody out to be, all that does is make it harder for you to forgive, but it doesn't make their need for Jesus any bigger or any less. You can't, if the wages of sin is death, then that means your sin and my sin earn the same wage. There is a parable about that where the tenants go out and they earn the same thing. Some worked all day, some worked an hour, and they earned the same pay. You translate that and say, before Jesus, your wage and mine are the same thing. It's death. That's what we earn. The wages of sin is death. Can you get that? Can you wrap your hands around it? Can you wrap your head around it? Right, that the posture is followed by the attitude, and the attitude is one of corporate, like I am no better than those around. So I'm not praying that God will fix my church, fix my pastor, fix the people in the church. God, fix our church. I'm not praying, God, fix the community. No, fix my community. I'm not praying, fix the family. No, fix my family. No, fix the friends. No, fix my friends. So we're all in this together. Help me. When is the last time that you took responsibility for your own sin, let alone that of other people, and said, Lord, we're corporately, we are goofed up. We are messed up. Can you help us fix it? Really good at pointing out the sins of others. Really good at pointing out why people shouldn't be in positions and all of these things. We use sin as a way to beat people up. But when do we flip it on its head? When do we start warring against the kingdom of the enemy? By taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for the sin that is around us. Feeling the weight of that like Nehemiah did, like Daniel did, like others have done. Like Jesus did, actually. Feeling the weight of the sin of other people. Right posture, followed by the right attitude. We're going to keep going through this story, see what's the outcome. We'll see you next time right there. Simple Truth.